The next thing that we're going to do is a quick test. And so we're going to do an eye movement test. And in the Focus Builder app, we've got a folder in the saved exercises, and it's a testing folder. So into that folder, you'll go in there and you'll have the exercises or the test. We're going to run through them in just a second here and show you exactly how to test for that. Naturally, if you've got a right eye system or other technology to record eye movements, those are awesome and ideal to have. But if you don't have it, you can do a quick bedside exam, and then that is next. When you turn on the Focus Builder app, you go right at the bottom and save the exercises, and you've got a folder called Bedside Exam. If you click on that, this folder actually is being updated any day now. So that with your next update, it should be updated. We've added a few things I think that were missing in there. Simply what we're going to do is we're going to test gaze holding on the horizontal, vertical, and we're going to also test slow pursuits on the horizontal and vertical, and then faster pursuits as well. And then we're going to test, we're going to do a right and left cerebellum pursuit test. So that's on a diagonal to the left, diagonal to the right. And we're going to basically be looking for any drifts there, any deviation off plane. And we're looking for the quality of the movement, how smooth it is. Especially when you look at pursuits, it's all about smoothness. And sometimes you can't really see or tell, which direction the movement, the intrusion is, but you can just see that it's just rough. And sometimes it's just all you see at bedside. And that's okay. That's really great to note. We've got in your packet, you will have, okay, so you will have a sheet like this, a test form. And this is everything we're going to go through here in our bedside exam. Gaze holding, slow pursuit, fast pursuits, cerebellum pursuits, diagonal saccades, OPK, and I also added in the memory saccades. It's just a quick memory test that we can do to get an idea of how the patients are doing with that. So I'm going to run through the test. It should take you about 4 to 5 minutes to do the whole thing, so it's fairly quick. And actually, really quick, before you start it, you want to just get this little drop down on your iPad and put it on rotation lock. Rotation lock has to be on, because what we've done is we're going to do all of the movements on the horizontal plane when you look at the iPad like that. When we do a vertical one, it's still going to move horizontally. You just have to move the iPad like this. Okay, it's much quicker that way. So let's go ahead and hit, let's start off with our gaze holding. And what you'll see in gaze holding is that the target will start in the middle. So naturally the patient will just stare at it. And then it moves to the side like that. So he's looking at the side, and you're looking at his eyes as you're seeing that the target is holding and then moving back to center, and it'll move again to the other position. So you can see here. And what you're looking for is drifts. Is there any drifts, any beats, any kind of instability in the eyes there? Because they should be nice and stable and in position, both in the center, to the right, and to the left. Okay? And then the exercise ends. You hit complete, and it'll naturally roll from one to the other. So the next one is the exact same thing that we just did. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on the vertical like that. So again, you look at the eyes, and you don't want to bring that iPad right in his face. You want to give him enough distance so he's not converging. But are we seeing any beats, any drifts, any kind of movement, any disruption at all in the stability of gaze? Okay, so this is a great way to test. And if there is, I would just say, okay, there's some movement. Maybe you don't know exactly, was it a fast oscillation? Was it nystagmus? Was it saccadic intrusion, or was it something else? You may not know, and that's okay if you don't. We're just looking for any movement at this point. Naturally, it is important to know, but at the very least, look for any movement. And if you have it, I would note, was it to the right? Was it to the left? Was it up? Was it down? Because if it's in one of those positions, you're going to want to really exercise gaze holding in that weak area. Okay, but what we're going to do is we're going to use something that works to fix it. And we're going to get into that in just a moment. The vestibulo-ocular reflexes are our best tool in restoring gaze stability. So, and we'll certainly go through that in detail. So next is pursuit, and what you'll see is the pursuit motion is going to go straight across like that. This is the slow one, okay? And it's going to go across, and then it's going to come back to the other side. And you look at the eyes, you're looking for any intrusions. That's it. Is there any intrusion? It's quick. Is there any deviation off plane? And then if there are intrusions, you make a note of it. And ideally, you want to know where the intrusion is. Is it in the center? Is it to the right? Is it to the left? Is it throughout the entire movement? Sometimes you're going to see just at the ends or just in the center. And you might want to do some kind of therapy in the area where the intrusion is. And there's a number of options there. But for now, we're just making notes, okay? We're not worrying too much about what it is. We're just making notes. Just jot down, yes, there's an intrusion. It's, on the right or the left. Or maybe it's only while the eyes move to the right or to the left. So is the intrusion on the right side? Yes. Is it when the eyes move to the right or when they move to the left? That could make a big difference. So just kind of note everything you notice. And Skylar is near perfect here. What a great subject. And the target here is moving faster. You can see that's a faster pursuit. Okay, so we're going to do horizontal pursuits that are a little faster. And you might find that some people are a lot better at one speed over the other. And this is important because especially with people who have attention deficit disorder, they hate anything slow. I mean, their eyes are just bouncing around all the time in all sorts of directions. And if you make them do gaze stability exercises or gaze stability test, or you have them follow a slow pursuit, they're going to hate it. And if it goes a little faster, they like it better. Naturally, if the slow one's not working, you might need a faster one to help them recover and improve the slow movement and progressively move it slower. Okay, next, these are the cerebellum pursuits. You see they're moving on a diagonal. So it's going up and down in this diagonal plane. And this particular plane is good for the left cerebellum. Does that seem right, Scholar? Backward, upside down, sideways. Okay, so that's the left cerebellum. And then the right cerebellum. Just a quick cerebellum test you can do with eye movements. And again, this is a pursuit, so we want to know, are there any intrusions in there? Is there any kind of movement off this plane? Is there a breakdown in smoothness? Because those intrusions can be so small that all you can see is that it's not smooth. Excuse me. All right, next, we're going to do diagonal saccades. The diagonal saccades are really great because we're going to do it to the right and to the left, so upright and up left. And these are really useful because you can see as the eye moves in its position, final position, from center to upright, back to center, and then up left, you want to see, is the eye moving initially more in the horizontal plane or vertical plane? Okay? Excuse me. Okay, and next is the OPK, so optokinetic. On the iPad, on this test, it's going to run in one direction. So I'm going to count for 10 seconds. Make it go to the right. And up. So I do this 10 seconds in each direction. And what we're looking for here is gain. I'm looking at the eyes, and as they're moving, I want the eyes to bounce, you know, they go right, left, right, left, right, left, as they're following the lines. And I want that to happen right in the middle. It should be right in the middle when he goes to the right, to the left, up, and down. I'm looking for that amplitude of movement as well. And if there is, you know, compare right to left, up to down, they should all be the same. And if for some reason, as the eyes bounce, they're kind of traveling more and more to one side and they're not recovering, then you know that the gain is off, and the ability to come back to center, you know, that saccadic motion to come back to center on a rightward movement is impaired. If it's to the left, it's to the left. So we want to see, is the gain off, right, left, up, and down? That's it. That's all you want to know initially. We're not going to overanalyze it. Is it right? Is it left? Is it up? Is it down? And a lot of times the verticals will be more compromised than the horizontals. The last part is the memory saccades, and the memory saccades, they're not in that bedside exam. So you have to go to your sample presets. And if you run down, it's called memory test, repeat 4 times, okay? If I just start that, what I'm going to ask Skylar to do is just to look at where those targets appear. See how they appear? And he's at a disadvantage here because I should move the iPad around. But see how they move, they appear in 4 different places. And he would have to find where they were. And it's okay, we want you to get some correct and some that are not. So if it's wrong, it lights up as red, okay? And you've got to find that first one first. So go ahead and keep pressing around.
Somewhere over here.
Yeah, just press around until you get it. Okay, so there, he's got the first one. Do you remember the second one? Yeah,
There it is.
and the third one? I think it was down here somewhere.
Yeah.
So no one was paying attention where these were. And then the next one, there you go. The score is 20 out of 4. So on your form, you could write down 20 out of 4 for the first one. And you do this 4 times. And this 4 times is good because a lot of times they may do it once and kind of get lucky. So you want to look at 4 tests. And this is a great way to kind of test that short-term memory in this quick bedside exam. Okay? And that's it for the bedside exam.